So welcome to another episode of 2Techies Getting Tapas. We just went to Zach the Bakery, or Zach the Baker, I'm sorry. Have you ever met Zach?
No, but I know he's supposed to be a wild dude.
Really?
Right? I think so. Didn't he just have an anniversary or something yesterday? Was it Zach the Baker?
Oh, is that what it was?
I think so. And he was dressed all like dragged out or something.
So there's really a dude named Zach?
I think so. Don't quote me.
I'm quoting you. You just said it on camera. That's a quote. Zach the Baker. So, 2Techies is more so about getting to know some of the people in our tech community here in South Florida on a more personal level, and then every once in a while we'll throw in an actual tech question. So my first question for you is, why did you leave Maroon 5?
Sooner or later you get tired of all the panties being thrown at you. So I thought a lot less would happen of that in the tech world. You know?
It just made it better for you this way?
Yeah.
So a lot of people don't know that you actually play the guitar and you're into music. So why isn't that something you kind of more so pursued while here in South Florida? How are you planning on incorporating music into your whole tech work?
Okay. Well, actually, so I just started writing more electronica music. So I play a lot of guitar, but with all the traveling, I can't really bring my guitar with me everywhere. So here in Miami, we have a very big electronica scene. So I think that'll probably...
We do? You mean like the ultra electronica scene?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Like EDM stuff. So I'm starting to write dubstep, which is
I know that. Dubstep, yeah.
more of a heavy-hitting type of genre. And so I think that's where I'm going to start, and then I'll incorporate some guitar into that. So we have the best of both worlds, and then eventually release my own album, solo album, and just kind of see where that goes.
That's cool. So we got natural background noise. We're not going to tell them. Because we're at the lab.
Yeah.
So it's a place where you do this kind of stuff. Since we're talking about that, I remember we used to come here around this time last year. It was pretty empty. But it seems like now almost all your co-working spaces are filled up. Do you see a surgence of actual successful businesses? Or have we just noticed more people in co-work spaces?
Here I would just say more people in co-working spaces. But I don't know about the lab, but WeWork has like Refresh Miami, Zeal, Care Angel, so some startups that actually have funding, have some backing, you know. So I think we're starting to see some of them actually take space in the co-working spots.
I got you. So what's been one of the biggest, I guess, transitional things that you've experienced so far while being here the last couple of years?
Okay, well, I guess we should mention that I am coming from New York.
Right.
That's my last kind of startup hub.
Which part of New York? You were in Brooklyn, right?
Brooklyn, yeah. Park Slope.
That's why you like the chocolate.
Definitely. So coming here, there's definitely a lack of investment money. That's probably the biggest issue for South Florida thus far. But we're starting to see more and more come here, investment money, especially since a lot of people are pulling out of San Francisco. But New York is still rising in the amount of investment. In fact, they're bigger than ever, and I think it's constantly increasing. So hopefully we'll see some of that come down here, kind of like, you know, the snowbird effect with investors, maybe.
Have the money come down. Have the money come down when it's cold.
That'd be awesome.
Like, it's too cold to spend money up here. I think I'll go to Miami and blow some money.
Definitely. And the other biggest issue is, and this starts, I think this happens with every new startup hub, is you see a repeat in all the lessons learned in every other place. So we have like 5 different delivery services. Everyone's trying to Uber for X.
So what hasn't Miami learned that you've seen that's already like transcended in New York? What's already happened in New York that you haven't seen happen down here yet?
Most people are not first-time entrepreneurs like they are here, right? Everyone is kind of new to them. There's not a lot of mentorship like you have in New York.
Right.
So everyone's relearning all the lessons that everyone else has already learned.
So we don't have a lot of seasoned entrepreneurs down here.
Exactly.
Would that have anything to do with people understanding maybe the power of collaboration? So instead of having people that are actually working together, they're not seeing those opportunities because they don't know the power of collaboration?
It could definitely be a thing of collaboration. Miami is kind of, you know, do your own thing. Yeah. Much silo.
It's like one of those things you don't want to point out, but it's one of those things you notice. It's a lot of, as I call them, cool kid cliques.
Yeah.
If you're not in that clique, people don't really mess with you, but some of those people I've seen outside of those circles have like the most thing going on. and they've kind of started to separate themselves from kind of the superficial elements of everything.
I think there's a lot of people doing stuff quietly, and then eventually as they grow, you'll start to see, oh, these people actually exist, we just didn't hear about them. Meanwhile, everyone else is part of the cliques. They're not really doing a lot, they're more so maybe talking about doing stuff.
There's a lot of social talking about the dreams of being rich besides the work to actually become rich.
Yeah.
So what made you get into image recognition software? Granted, besides the fact that I know what you do,
right.
A lot of people else don't know what you do. So what got you into image recognition software?
So I've always been interested in machine learning. It was a new challenge for me, and that's really the reason. It was a new challenge. It was something I had never done. It's a lot, depending on the type of vision that you're using, it changes what you have to do, right? The algorithms change. And it's such an ever-evolving field now. We're just now really getting a lot of science behind it to really understand, how can you improve these algorithms? How can you take a pixel and condense that data in a way that it's searchable on something like a phone.
Right.
And that's cool to me.
When you say condensing, compression, the first thing I think about is Pied Piper from Silicon Valley, cutting out the middleman. And it's kind of funny watching that show because I see sometimes we relive some of those moments, and that show is so truthful.
Definitely.
I think we need like our own tech TV show, kind of the parody of what happens. Mm-hmm. Like, we have so many meetings we have to go to, but first we should really go to the beach, have waffles.
Right. For the Waffle Wednesday, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Instead of, before we get to work, there's so many different things we should do first.
Right.
I feel some of the work ethic down here is just a little off, but with that being said, you code in probably the most languages of mostly anybody I know down here in South Florida. How did the level of dedication that you have, how did you find that balance? How did you become skilled in so many different platforms?
There wasn't balance. I'm now finding more so the balance, but when I first started, I've been programming since I was 10. And by the time I was 20, I knew maybe 3 or 4 languages.
Wow.
And I had to learn more for the different jobs. So I got into performance. I love performance, but performance means using the right tool for the right job.
Okay.
So I had to learn other languages that allowed us to do things like concurrency, or parallelism. Oh, I can't say that right now.
Parallelism? Parallelism? Are you paralyzed? I'm paralyzed with coding.
But to be able to make use of multiple cores, right? We have these powerful computers, but not all of our languages actually make use of them in a proper way. So to improve the performance of many of the platforms that I was working on, I had to learn these other languages that actually have the tooling to allow us to do this.
Now, could a 17-year-old, 20-year-old dedicate themselves to become just as good of a coder as you? Or is it true, kind of with the theories that we've seen with some of our programs down here, like with Code Fever, the upcoming makerspace that Andrew Ice is building up in Fort Lauderdale? Yeah. Do you have to start coding at 10 years old to be as good as you? Or is it something you can actually pick up later in life and still be that talented? It was Morgan Freeman? I don't think he became an actor until he was like 47 years old or something. Even though he's like 110 now and he's still in movies.
But he still looks the same age. Hasn't aged in years.
Yeah, he looked old when he was like 19 though. Like he went from a baby to like looking like a grown man at 19. He's looked the same age for the last 50 years.
Definitely. It definitely helps to learn at a young age because obviously our understanding of languages, no, I won't say that. Our sponginess of the brain is a lot more significant. And then as we get older, we actually lose a protein in the brain that causes us not to be able to learn as fast or as well and retain the same. So, of course, it helps to learn at a younger age, just like learning a second language.
Right.
And but anyone can learn at any point, but they have to dedicate. It has to become almost your life. And
is it actual learning or just a passion of curiosity to know what's going on? Do we actually stop learning when we're 19 or 20, or do we just not give a damn and we have to start thinking about secondary things like life, bills,
right,
taxes.
Well, people do lose passion, I think.
Okay.
I think it's beat out of us in school, right? They're like, can't be passionate, must do
Get a
the
job,
9 to 5, hate your life. Like, this is the cultural norm.
So basically, we just need to get rid of public schools.
Probably, I think so.
Or we need a non-traditional format of public schools.
Definitely.
Because I mean, I only got to do a lot of my art stuff because I had parents that believed in me.
Mm-hmm.
So I was in IB and I was like, there was no art classes in IB, so I dropped out. And then I went to AP and I took like every art course I could in AP, which allowed me to graduate from college in 3 years, but it still wasn't enough.
Right.
You know, and I had to have the passion from my parents to pursue that. But by the time I got to college, you know, it was more so people, well, my first year, it was like, oh, you can't find a job using the arts as your skill set. But that's how I became a graphic designer. I just took I took one talent, and, you know, we was talking about this yesterday because it's funny, almost everybody I know in the tech scene is somehow related back to music. You know, we talked to Andre, and Andre was a DJ. He used to be, what do we call, what?
The reggae DJ.
Yeah, you know the reggae DJs that's like always talking over the music and they start singing their own lyrics. Like he was a DJ, big DJ in the reggae scene, because I was asking him, you know, how did he get the nickname? And you're a musician and I'm an artist. It seems like most tech people have some artistic talent that underlines it. And I wonder if that's what drives our creativity and we just translate it into a different language.
I think programming can be a creative outlet. It's also a logical outlet.
Yeah, because I've seen you get obsessed with programming. I've seen you go like 2 days straight without like doing anything when you get into your zone. Right. So I guess to be good, you just have to have some kind of obsessive behavior to some degree.
You do. I think that goes for anything. If you want to be good at something, you have to be obsessed. If you're not obsessed, you're wasting your time, in my opinion.
So we need a T-shirt that says, I'm obsessed with coding. Like just, I'm obsessed with fill in the blank.
Yeah. Could be just I'm obsessed with line.
Just the empty line?
Yeah.
That could be translated a lot of different ways in Miami, though.
That's the fun of the shirt.
Yeah. Well, last thing is I know you are newly bringing down Unicorn with your buddy Clay that we'll be talking to later. Why Unicorn and why Miami? When you could have easily packed this up, went to Colorado and probably made 10 times the amount we're making right now.
Right. So, Unicorn is obviously, at the end of the day, it's something you want to avoid. It's great in theory, but you have someone like...
So you're really trying to convince me I don't want $1 billion evaluation?
It's great to have that, but it's not realistic.
Okay.
For the most part.
Neither is a unicorn.
They're very rare. That's it. Unicorns are rare. So... Wait,
you've seen a unicorn? Just wait, go ahead.
Depends on the drugs at the time. But a unicorn is something magical, rare.
Right.
And in the tech scene, I mean, it's great to be a unicorn. That's awesome. But at the same time, you don't want everyone striving to be a unicorn in the sense that it is in the tech world. So it's a matter of, using that as, kind of an out there name, but then being able to teach people, you can be this awesome company, and you could become a unicorn,
right.
But there's much better ways to do it and actually be profitable, have growth, and not end up having this crazy evaluation only to find out that we're not making any money for the company. We're only costing.
I was about to say, I think there was we did that study, like 176 unicorns, and none of them have ever been profitable
right.
in the life of the business.
Right.
So is tech becoming the next hoax for the I guess, the stock market? Is any of this stuff ever going to transpire, or is this just another way to move capital around?
It could be a way to move capital, but I think we're in a bubble again, kind of like the .com, and we're starting to see that. Like I said,
the money's starting to dry up a little bit.
There's investors moving away because they're realizing that they're putting all this money and not seeing very much returns, and then they go and sell the shares, and move it somewhere else, try to make some actual profit the second time around. And so, to the second point, why Miami? There's so many new companies, new entrepreneurs starting here, and we want to teach them because they don't have a lot of mentorship. They don't have a lot of use cases here. Magic Leap is our
That is our unicorn,
right?
yeah.
That's our unicorn. And we want to make sure that people aren't striving to just become unicorns at the end of the day.
I appreciate it. Well, thank you for your time. Normally it would be 2Techies getting tapas or a drink, but due to the fact that we know you don't drink liquor, I'll just go get you an energy drink and some water after this instead. But appreciate you coming out and talking to us. 2Techies, thanks guys.